Okay, you can see my board is now taking shape. I've got pretty much all the components that I need. I've got them in the right position. The circuit is made. I've got a few finishing things to do though. First of all, I'm going to place a pad, and we'll make it a 175 thou round pad, and we'll put that right here. That was probably going to be my voltage supply in. So I've got my voltage in, I've got my switching output, and I've got a ground connection, and that's the ground circuit all around there. These lines here are a little bit long, so we'll click on him and we'll just drag him across a little, and we can fill that in later. Probably easier just to toggle up and down to reset everything. Likewise here, we'll drag him across. My pads, once again, we can make these pads a bit bigger. Keep them the same length, but how about we try 40? That gives us just a little bit more meat to solder with. And we're pretty much done. What I can do is I can put a bit of text for each of these main connection pads where wires will go to. So we can go to the top overlay and go text. Our first one we can call VCC. Okay, ground. In this case, it's this connection here. And lastly, our output. You want to keep these as small and as short and as sweet as you can, because you don't want to clutter up the board to the point where you can't read what's what. And we're done. And of course we can get rid of our top overlay, this top layer track here around the outside. We can delete that, or we could replace it with perhaps some crosshairs in the corner on the blue layer, the bottom layer, so that we can at least know where to put the guillotine when we chop our board to size. Lastly, you can also turn layers off just to check how things are going. Let's do that. Let's turn off our top layer, turn off our top overlay, and all we should have is pads and tracks. You can see what I've also done is I've put a couple of corners in here, which I don't mind having etched on a circuit board, because it's certainly good for lining up when you go to trim and cut your board from its starting size. Okay, lastly, there's a couple of things that you need to be aware of. When you're going to get this board made, you will probably be sending this to someone as a PCB file, which is the standard save setting. In that file will be information about the layers, the position of all the holes, the positions of all the components, and also the hole sizes. This is important because often automatic machine will change drill bits as necessary. If you're making it yourself using just an etching bath and a drill press, then you don't need to worry about that stuff. So let's just have a look at some of the things on the file menu. You've got Gerber files, NC drill files, which is what I just explained, but the Gerber is also like a 3D plotter that can print and also chew out your board if you're using that process rather than etching. But if we go through to our print page, because often that's the only thing that you'll need to do, is do a draft print to make sure that it looks the way it is and that everything's to the right scale. So you can see here that it's 1:1. So that means that it's going to print on my page in the true size that it will be when it's made into a circuit board. I've got it centered, and it's going to be the final quality. Under options, I can choose which layers will print. Now all I really want when I go to make a negative to etch my circuit board is that I want the bottom layer, which is my tracks, the bottom overlay, which will include all my pads, and I also want to make sure up here that I'm including my pads, wires, strings, etc. You're only concerned with what you can see here in brown and blue for your final artwork.